kind of notes.
I'm going to,
I've already done
I'm
one.
gonna go upstairs for a bit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so we've got those steps going. Now let's go fire up the cameras. And then we'll go to the PowerPoint. So
Take a seat.
somebody ride that. And we go back and forth, Ryan and I, so just a normal boot. Go ahead and just boot, don't boot it cold, it's just wake it up, yeah. Have a shift or, there you go. Okay, and back that out. Do you know this password yet?
No.
Okay, here it is here. Both PCs, that one and this one, use sound booth, which it
Yeah.
is.
With capital S and B?
Yep.
Well, it's
Now,
already there.
wait.
Oh,
No, all you need is the capital S, see the light, exclamation.
is that a capital L and?
No.
No, that's
Only
lower.
the S is capitalized.
Oh, you missed it just, you gotta get the cursor in there. Good. So all the sound booths, when we go upstairs, it'll all be the same. And we'll be dressing up some of these computers, we're not sure. This is in large part going away. Well, it's not gonna go away, but we're bringing in a big, hard controller, big one, Big Daddy, that's coming in. We just bought that yesterday.
Okay.
And that's gonna allow us to set up the cameras, control them, do all their exposures, all their iris settings, all the presets.
Yeah.
And the one really cool thing about it is that at this model level, the presets can be pans and zooms, nice ones, theatrical ones. So in other words, the choir's singing, and we can just press a button and it'll go into one part of the choir and slowly pan
Oh, that's neat.
and come out. And that's a
Cool.
feature that we wanted to have.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And anyway, so, okay, we're booting
So it
up.
doesn't have to be just static,
So nothing is open. Okay,
nothing.
so we want to start, let's go ahead and open the ATEM, the far right. I left this on, typically they're on.
And what kind of time do you get here in the morning to?
Well, I'm
get
a
all
warrior
this
lot,
Set up,
a warrior one. I'm here at 7:15,
okay.
but 7:15, but 8's fine, that's when Ryan comes in, typically when we're ready to go. Okay,
There's
so
that
that's the
thing.
ATEM,
Yeah,
okay.
Do you
And
need to close that window?
no, don't do anything yet, because we're gonna move that over here, just,
Okay,
but before you do that, see the thing on the wall?
yeah.
That's the setup, that's what all these buttons should look like. But, if you get this right, go up to File. As soon as you boot it, go to File, Restore. And then the first one, the ATEM. Hit Open and go down to the bottom and hit Restore. And look at that, it set it all up for
yeah,
us.
there it
Yeah.
is.
Okay? And that has a lot to do with how things show up. By the way, let's interrupt this, and it's on the tape. This is your power button. This is important to you to be able to see what's really going on. So we're gonna fire up the ProScan.
So is that what, that's what's broadcast?
No, this is not the broadcast.
Oh,
This is a multi-view and a final video input. So what you're looking at here, program, is the input coming out of here into the computer awaiting overlays,
Okay,
okay? And then the broadcast comes out of the computer.
so the last time I saw that on this screen.
Oh,
Right?
did you? Well, you're gonna see a different
Right.
version of it.
Okay,
So Peggy, go ahead and drag that over and drag it into this window. And you'll have to click that button to shrink it. Okay, cool. We're up and running, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, how to maneuver that. But let's go ahead and open up the next one, which is the camera control. That's the Panasonic software. This one gets an admin, capital A, admin,
Well,
what did it do?
it didn't do anything.
There
Okay.
you go. and then tab, admin, same thing, admin. We're really creative here. And this is the way you saw before.
Okay, alright.
Yeah,
So this is, and then you'll just get comfortable, you need to kind of play, and even, I'm thinking, are you wanting to do graphics and do cameras maybe? Or you don't
Doesn't
know?
matter.
Well, today, let's go ahead and do the graphics with Peggy
Yeah,
and advance them, and then you can play away here.
okay,
You know, while we're doing that, you can jump around everything you want.
alright.
And including these screens, so hit, main screen. Okay, and then click here, signal camera. No, that's not doing it, okay. Just select one of those, just click on it, yep, there you go. Okay, and then, hit the preset over here, hit the big gymnasium picture down below. There you go, it's all set. Then you can come back up, click up here, and then I'll come back to you, and you can feel your way around here, or listen to us. Hit
Alright.
the other gym picture. But, yeah, the same picture, remember, these are the presets with this.
Right.
And then you jump to here, and they're all new presets. They're going to look very much the same, because they're intended to be, okay? And then hit that once. That should, nope, this one right there, the auto. And the auto didn't change that. Try it again. Hit the auto, no, just hit the auto again. See what's happening? That's the straight on, hit the auto.
yeah.
So that's our
It
variety.
looks almost the same.
They do- well, they do.
If you don't watch it, you don't,
You may not, but yeah, it's gonna give you a sense of variety and things like that. Now, the changes that we're going to do through this will be more substantial than that. I'll go ahead and hit, let's see, wait a second. Now, there's the technique here I wanna get right for you all. We know we're on the number,
So the program is what's gonna be broadcast.
yes, and this is the cue.
That's the
That's
key.
sitting down there when you hit that.
The C
So
name.
let's change,
How do I get to,
so I checked. I chose that, and then,
okay,
so tell me what you wanna do.
So right
We're
now,
opening,
right now, the center camera is the active one.
That's number 6,
So
yeah.
this one in red, is that what the preview is?
Red is preview. The red means it's active. The green means it's on pause.
red, yeah.
Okay?
What red means, imagine the camera is frozen on that image.
Right.
Because red and green is opposite,
Yeah.
but green
It
is
is
queued up to
opposite.
go, but red is frozen on that image.
That's
so
right.
they
So
get
that's the
that
one you
way.
can change right now.
Which one?
The one that's queued up to go, you can change.
Yep,
Right.
that's right.
One for preview.
There you go. Now
So
you
then-
got
so
it
then if-
already.
So then if you want it, you come over here and you.
Hit auto.
Perfect.
And now we're on, the other one's on the preview.
Yeah. These are gonna look bright here, but they're not. I've been testing these like crazy.
So now, do I need to click this to make it red? So that if I.
No,
just-
you don't do that. By clicking this, you made everything, you've reversed these. Go ahead and click it
Well, yeah,
again.
but let me ask you this, see, this one shows in red, so if I change.
No, it doesn't mean, yeah, it just means you're working in the red. You're selecting it, yes.
So if I click on that, it's gonna change the program one.
Yes.
So I won't need
You
to.
don't wanna do
So I
that.
need to click that to be red.
To wherever you wanna go from
Right,
here.
to do my next.
Do the choir, you can do the choir shot, we're getting ready to sing a song up above the choir, yeah.
And then you hit,
So that's,
And by the way, you can, when you get fairly comfortable with this thing, you can actually hit that while it's zooming, as long as it's a nice zoom.
Okay.
So it's kinda nice to
I
do
think
that
about
too.
one time when we were here, if we hit the auto to go to that one, that automatically flipped that.
it will if it's on that one. If you're accidentally on the wrong one when you hit that, if you haven't queued up the other one.
Now, see, when I flipped it, now the front, it's still got the front, that if I play with it, so I have to click that.
Go ahead and change the front now. It's gonna show the change here.
Oh, I know.
You don't want that.
We don't want that.
Right.
See, I thought when we did this flip, it did that.
I don't
flip.
think it does. I
Okay.
never even noticed that.
All right.
6 is always gonna be on the top for you.
Right, so we have to,
And the
We have
only
to-
way you know
so
what's
we-
you don't know what's active from here.
When we
You
change
only
it,
know it from here.
yes,
Okay.
but when we change it here, we need to also change it here
No.
No?
to keep track.
Well, you might
Yeah.
want
You
to.
just need to look up there.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Oh, yeah, I
You
get your
can.
point.
but
You
you see
can.
what I'm saying
Yeah, I
is,
do. You can if you
say I'm
want to.
changing this to the side view,
Yeah.
and I'm doing something, I'm not paying any attention, I wanna change my next shot. I'm
Uh-huh.
not on my next shot
Yeah.
until I click.
If you wanna do that, it's a smart idea.
Okay.
Because that's probably what you're gonna do. Now, there'll be times when you're gonna have them both set to this is straight on, so we're gonna have close here. And there's times when you're gonna be, through the sermon, you'll just be changing these back and forth for a little while.
Right.
You can always back up, I mean, even in the middle of the sermon.
Have one on the 6 and one on the 1 and just go back and forth.
Even in the sermon, you can, or singing a hymn, you can open it up like that, that's nice, huh?
Right.
If you catch the end of it.
Yeah.
The problem
So
with
it's
the
not a long
problem with the
stretch.
presets is they jerk. That, if there's a little exposure, see, we have a little exposure difference. When you close up with all that black in the back,
Mhm.
we have to bring more light into it. And then we have to knock the exposure down when we go to these gym pictures.
Gotcha.
And so there's always that herky-jerky at the beginning, but not at the end. So as soon as you get the preset moving, you can cut to it while it's still dissolving.
It gives a
Oh,
little
yeah.
motion to
It's
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you see when
So
you're
it's
out.
not just static.
So you can play all you want now, or we can just
All right.
move to this. You wanna play with this for a little while before we talk about graphics?
No, I don't. Do you? Well, let Vern do it for a bit, because I already did it.
I think you got it right off the bat.
Yeah, I think so
But
too.
anytime you wanna come in and play with
But
it,
the trick is to timing it to this.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So when John's coming up, you wanna have a,
Close up.
you
well,
wanna
here's
have
a good, let
close-up
me give you the
ready.
scenario, We're gonna open,
Like when he's
Oh,
doing
Yeah,
a
see-
prayer.
see, like that was blurry a little bit coming in, so
Was
you
it?
wouldn't wanna show
yeah,
that
yeah,
real time.
yeah, just wait until it's done. All right, so we're opening the show, we're opening the service, sorry.
It is a show.
Set up the gym, straight on. Set up you got the
Set
gym
the
showing,
gym.
no,
Oh,
set
I'm
up,
sorry.
put the gym on the program. I don't care how you get there, but just get the gym up top. Okay, good. And then you know that they're gonna walk in, after this welcome, someone's gonna walk up to the pulpit. So prep that second one right away. You'll even have that before we come on air. So you're gonna have your,
Yeah, probably that.
probably the full pulpit.
Yeah.
The normal, it says norm
Yeah.
pulpit,
That one.
Yeah,
And then.
that's fine, you could even be back away a little bit, that's fine. And so now, da-da-da-da-da-da, welcome, nobody said anything, and Travis is walking up to the podium, so go,
and there he is.
and you meet him, right.
So then I need to switch back to middle camera for
Whatever,
the next shot.
what do you wanna do next?
Right.
Maybe just a wider,
Well, next there might be,
well, look at this,
Singing.
you're gonna have the singing, it's after the announcements.
Right, I mean, that'd be a good one for when they're up there.
No, the singing is choir, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when he's still giving.
Yeah, when he's up there, and then you could do two of those even if you want to, while he's praying.
Mhm.
Well, I don't remember what he does here, but he welcomes, there's announcements.
Right,
You may wanna switch during the announcements. And then you're gonna go to the next song, so sooner or later, have that song ready. This is where Peggy's gonna come in with, timing,
there's the choir.
perfect. And do that, and then you can pull up another choir version
Yeah.
to bring the other angle up.
And when he comes back to
Maybe
talk.
a minute and a half. Well, this is a pretty short song.
Yeah,
But you can switch one more if you.
then we can go back when he's talking again. Blah, 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 blah.
And you can.
I don't mean
well,
that, of course.
Well, listen, I'm gonna play that. When we get going, I'm gonna turn on the service. So you're gonna be able to play around with this, literally, right along with the service.
Okay.
Because I've got this over here. So, go ahead, Peggy, sit down. And you'll wanna be sure that's booted. Just wake up that computer. You guys are catching this awful fast.
Just don't turn us loose on our own yet.
Well, I honestly, no one will ever see any kind of mistakes here.
Is this admin too?
This is where, see the light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything's see the light. Gotta move this around. And this is really the sound, not visual, because we never see the stage. We never see it back here. We don't look at anything like this, but you gotta pay attention to the sound of this thing. Okay? All right, before I,
So how are we gonna be working with that? I'm not.
you're not gonna work with this at all.
Oh.
This is just to give you something to pace your practice
Just to
against.
see.
Oh, I see.
You're gonna replicate Sunday
Okay.
and figure out your timing, and you're still gonna be working off this. You're gonna have your own pages,
Okay.
okay?
Are these are in here already?
Now, I got a lot to show you. Let me get you set up. And we won't start that yet.
I should have brought my glasses.
That would help. We can talk about a couple of tools, and that is, again, visualization. You can put your cursor in the middle of those, then get an arrow. You're gonna see an arrow, there's a pane. See the pane in here? Put your cursor on the pane, there you go. See the arrows?
Oh, this?
Yeah, you wanna shrink that a little bit, you don't need it quite so big. Nope,
Like this?
there you go, go right.
Go right.
Yeah, go right. And that's gonna give you truly what you need is the visibility here.
Yeah.
And you can change that to your comfort zone by making that bigger and smaller there.
Okay.
Okay? So you walked in cold, you're gonna hit announcements. Okay? Now, slide just a little bit left, so I'll stand over here first. So again, you guys decide, would you rather see more detail here for your eyes and all that other stuff? Or do you wanna have this bigger? But,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, so, morning. Now, you will see in the theories, and this is all you really have to remember, is that there's all these layers. Everything works in layers,
Mhm.
okay, and they're all independent. If the announcement layer is, oh, you're not on announcement, click that. When you when you come on the air for 10 minutes before the service, we have the announcement layer playing, okay?
Mhm.
You've seen all that. So you activate that,
How do we make this actually play?
yeah? So you're sure you're in the show. The show is always your place to end up, whether you're editing, whether you're modifying text, and you're not gonna be doing much of it. You're only gonna be in the show at first. So all you do is click on it and it activates it.
So it's like playing?
Yeah, it'll play. There you go.
Okay.
It plays,
see.
and then it has, pull that window down, that blue. Lets you set all the timing of the slideshow and
I
everything
see.
like that. And you can actually individually, you can slow this one down because it's got a lot of text, so I do all that when we're prepping,
I
okay?
see.
So, okay, now, we're at this point now, and, the prelude has started.
Mhm.
And you're hearing the prelude through the, just coming at you. And it'll be playing on here when we get started. I'll have the prelude. And at the end of the prelude, you shut this off. Sorry, turn it on. Click that. That's the input coming in from Vern. Click this one off. The top layer is the announcement layer, and you jumped right into it. Now, he has to be ready. You should be feeding us the gymnasium right now.
All right, I'm just playing.
That's good. So when the gymnasium comes up, you're in it,
There.
and then before you know it, so you need to be scrolling down to what's your next moves.
Where's this?
You can do it with the roller.
Oh, I see.
Roller's really good, okay? So here we go. We just welcome the living, da-da-da-da, and then right away you're gonna be clicking to the announcement layer, and while Vern's zooming in.
Okay.
Well, Vern's putting it to the close-up, okay? And that's that. Now, you always move, just leave them up,
Mm-hmm.
something of 1,001, 1,002, 1,000, maybe 4 or 5 seconds, and then take it down, okay? Good, and then roll to your next, and you're gonna wait, he's gonna pray, he's gonna be doing all kinds of stuff, and we'll watch that, you just have to anticipate. And then he's gonna introduce the song. Here's one of the tenets we wanna work on. Ryan is still kind of struggling with the conceptual side of it. We wanna get this up soon enough that it's there, but not take it down too quick to start here. And he's way ahead. He might be 10 seconds ahead of us actually singing. So if you can develop that kind of a pace where you can take a deep breath and say, I know when they're about to start singing, it will just come up a little early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we wanna jump on these ahead of time. One of the critical things that we wanna standardize on is that these titles to anything, whether it's proclaiming the word or any of those kinds of titles of an item, these are all items, individual beginning and ends, of each of those items. But at the beginning of it, we want to introduce that before it's obvious. So, in other words, we know.
Before it's obvious.
Yeah, so we know that there's gonna be, the announcement layers, and as Travis wraps up,
Then
and sometimes
we know
that's.
this is coming.
We know this is coming, yeah, this doesn't have a slide. So you wanna bring up to the ends of the earth,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This'll
yeah, I
take
know what
time,
you're saying.
this'll take time. Because what we're trying to do is reinforce the order of service in the Presbyterian Church. This is the old guard saying, thou shalt be sure, everybody knows what's happening. It's important to, adoration of God is important, call to worship is important, so they're a little itchy, okay?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, good, so, you're on your own. I'm
Okay,
gonna start this up,
all right.
and you
So
can,
let me ask you this.
yeah,
If I'm on camera 1, or 6, straight ahead, I can't queue up another cam 6.
if you're on Cam 6?
Yeah, I
No,
can't preview
No.
cam 6 at the same time.
no,
Okay.
right.
So we're to swap, you gotta go back and forth.
That's why we bought 2 cameras. That was the most important part of having 2
Right?
cameras.
Because if I wanted to go from that, what's on their program now,
Yeah,
and just back it up live, I see what you mean, watch it, see it jerks just a little bit.
yeah, you don't want that.
Can we do
So I have to
that?
have something in between.
Yeah, it's doing nothing right now, probably.
Yeah, I just was,
I'm gonna advance this, cause this is just,
we're past that, I backed up to that.
okay, let's go back here. I'll kind of play the last bit of the prelude. So when you hear the prelude winding down, actually I cut over before it's over. And that's gonna be just a gut call. It can't be wrong. So you go ahead and take off the announcements, unclick the announcement layer on the right. Way over on the right, you gotta undo at the top one,
All right, appreciate it.
Which
Have a
the one
good
that's
day.
left. There you go.
Bye-bye.
Now you're on, you're live. And this is where Vern would be coming up with the gym shot. Oh, wait a minute, something's not working.
Yeah, we have the playground shot.
Stop. No, oh, you're on the wrong screen. You gotta get on this screen. There you go. Okay.
Good morning. It's good to see you all here today. Enjoy the weather.
Mostly
It's
listen,
nice
don't
outside.
watch.
So welcome to Chestnut Mountain Presbyterian Church. We're all glad you could make it today. We have a few
should've been on
announcements
there.
and prayer requests for you. If you pull out the insert in your bulletin, see a big one. I think it's for VBS. I put it over here. It's bright and colorful, so make sure you read that one.
Okay, thank
In
you.
addition to that,
Okay.
I'd like to draw your attention to this smaller insert. So Summer in the Sun kicks off
So I just did that
next
while you were
Sunday,
talking about it.
That's
June
good.
6th. So we're starting it a little
Now
bit
he's just
earlier
waiting for the
than
song.
we've started in the past, so make sure you show up on time. It's at
Oh, that's good,
5:30.
Vern.
If you hadn't been with us for this, we do 20 minutes of singing, 20 minutes of teaching, and we end with 20 minutes of fellowship, which is code word for 20 minutes of eating. So be here for that. It starts next week.
Ooh, those
We're going
presets are
through
almost the same
7
thing.
IAMs.
They are
of
intended,
Christ.
they're meant to be.
I'd also
Okay.
like to draw your attention to the
It's exactly what
women's
we want.
ministry, so powerful. They have a booth, I think, yeah.
Just
booth
keeps
set
you,
up right
keeps
over
you
here,
kinda
so
on your tippy
look
toe,
at that
keeps
for
you,
more information.
tuned
We
in.
spoke on that,
Gotcha.
Missions Moment last week. It's a good ministry. We'd love for you all to get involved. And finally, there's a opening soon for a kitchen coordinator. So Angie Jones has done a great job with that, but she's stepping away, and we need somebody to fill her very large shoes that she's leaving. So if you're interested in that, talk to really anybody, because we're looking for somebody to do that. But Ben or John would be the person to talk to. A few prayer requests. Bev, please be praying for Bev Snyder Katz. She's in NGMC Gainesville after suffering a stroke. Steve Wentz was taken to the same hospital, but in Brazelton, for bacterial pneumonia this morning. So be in prayer for him. And also continue to pray for Kelly Johnson. She had a scare, she had eye surgery, some things happened, but she's doing better now, and she's recovering well. So be in prayer for her. Please stand.
Is that? Upstairs?
Should have been the outside door and that one, but I know it was the gym that was missing.
Thank you.
Our call to worship this morning comes from Psalm 98, verses 10 through 13. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. Let the heavens be glad and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and everything in it. Then shall all the trees of the forest sing for joy before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness. Let's take a minute now to quiet our hearts and confess our sins.
I'm gonna buy cutout dolls for the stage. Would that be great?
Yeah.
I'm serious. I used to do stuff like that in my business. We normally pull that drape in the back too, above the stage.
Father, we come to you now, knowing our sin, Lord, but knowing the sacrifice of Christ. So we ask that you would forgive our sins, Lord, both those of commission, that we've done what we ought not to have done, and those of omission, where we have not done what we ought to have done.
Don't be
Not
afraid
because
to
of any
do
righteousness
the
in
full
us,
gym
because there is none.
on these,
But
yeah.
for the blood of Christ
Because
that
people
covers
are
us, we
praying,
pray,
people, you know,
that you
a
would
little bit of
forgive
what the
us.
audience.
Lord, and we
We're gonna have
ask
the
that you would
camera
be
out
with us as
front,
we prepare
looking back
to
at the
worship
audience
this morning.
in the
We know
sanctuary.
that you
Oh,
will be
that's good.
worshipped,
Yeah.
Lord, whether that's from us or even from the rocks that would rise up to worship if we were not. Lord, we ask that all distraction would be removed from us this morning, Lord, that our worries and our thoughts about the work week coming up or the work week that's past would be absent from us, and we would focus wholly on your glory as we worship you this morning. Lord, we love you, and it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. If you would now stand as we declare our faith. So I'll read the regular font, and you guys will respond, or we'll all respond with the italicized font. This comes from Revelation, various parts of Revelation. Then I heard another voice from heaven
Perfect.
saying,
That was perfect transition.
"Come out of her, my people, lest you take part in her sins, lest you share in her plagues.